Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Metal Gear University.
I'm T.
And I'm Kay. As always, please send us any messages to itstkandm@gmail.com. That is itstkandm@gmail.com. We will begin today with our deep dive into Peace Walker. But as always, any ideas, any questions, concerns, please send them to us because you never know what a future 201 episode will look like. Right, T?
Right, K.
So, T,
Yes, K.
it's been a while. We were talking about, well, we did a couple 201s. Our last game was MGS4.
Uh-huh.
With Peace Walker now, we're going back to Naked Snake. And we're going to a very pivotal moment in his life.
Arguably, this is what makes him who he is. This is the game.
And I think we'll delve into, I guess, our own opinions and we'll leave it up to all of you to decide once you listen. But I agree with you, T. This is a very, we're seeing him as such, I would say, like he's like a ball of clay and it's slowly being molded, and I think it's finalized by the end of this game.
I'm of that opinion as well.
But of course, before we jump in, we have to talk any and everything Metal Gear, and we had two developments in the past 2 weeks. One interesting, one not so interesting.
Yeah.
Let's start with the interesting one first.
Yes. There was additional footage that was posted online of Metal Gear Solid 4 in the Master Collection Part 2. And it looks pretty cool so far. There was like a lot of confirmations that like the iPod is back.
Woo!
I know everybody was like people were wondering like would Apple lend them the copyright again?
Oh, that's things I never thought about.
Yeah, like there's like things like that where it's like would they replace the iPod with something else?
Is that something that they'd have to do? I guess because it's a re-release.
Yeah, I'm thinking that there must have been like a talk with Apple over the use of it at some point.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
actually, I would love to look into that because it's a remaster or
yeah,
a
that's true. I mean, admittedly, I'm not an expert on copyright law, and maybe since they already did it, maybe the iteration of the iPod in Metal Gear Solid 4 is said and done for Metal Gear Solid 4.
I wonder if they add anything new. That, like, if they were to add something new to it, a new podcast, maybe there's like a new like developer podcast episode in there. Maybe they would have to consult because it's like adding additional content to what was already originally agreed upon.
That's true. Like maybe the contract that they signed was for this game and this iteration, and once you change it, it's a new deal.
I think so.
It could be that too.
That would make sense to me, but I agree with you. I'm no expert in this, but it's cool to see that it's back.
Yeah, it's back.
A lot of the kids playing it now never probably had an iPod.
Probably not. But they revealed that like there's some retexturing going on.
It looked good to me.
Yeah, no, it's all looking pretty good. I am very hopeful.
I think since it's a game that's been locked away for so long, I'm of the opinion I take it in kind of any kind of like state of play, with the caveat I was just instantly reminded of like the Silent Hill 2 and 3 port that happened with the Xbox and how that was a terrible. Was it Xbox? No, it was the Silent Hill 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah, the HD port.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was on PS3, right?
Yeah, let me see. Silent Hill HD.
Yeah, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3.
And it was a terrible port.
Yeah, no, the Comic Sans font was always the go-to.
So I take back what I say. I do not want MGS4 in any kind of state. I want it in a great state. I want people to play it and enjoy it. I'm so interested in all the new takes we'll get from people who play it for the first time.
Yeah, no, a joke that I commonly hear is finally all the Metal Gear Solid 4 fans will get to finally play the game for the first time.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm excited. I remember we have a friend who was willing to buy, I think, a PS3. Mm-hmm. They were looking to buy one just to be able to. And we were like, just wait.
Just wait. And I'm glad because it's coming out in just a few months.
Is
like,
it?
I think it's
right?
coming out August, I believe.
Oh my god, I feel like we didn't even pre-order it, but like we're not really pre-order people.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, but let's see when it comes out. is coming out. It's coming out soon. I'm taking some time and looking for it.
Yeah, August 27th.
Wow, the volume 1 was in 2023?
We've been doing this podcast for a minute.
Oh my. I didn't even want to think about that. That's scary to think about. Volume 2, 3 years later. Do you think there'll be a volume 3?
It's not out of the realm of like impossibility here, but like it'd have to be like 5, but like 5's already available like everywhere more or less.
Revengeance?
Revengeance could be interesting.
It seems weird to me to have a 3 and then it's all like the kind of like not canon games and like smaller games, Babel, Acid,
Yeah.
Revengeance. It just kind of it's almost like why not make that volume 2 and then 3 it's with the big boys.
Yeah, I believe that if you're going to put, for example, like Metal Gear Solid 5 in a volume 3, it'd have to be more than just like a retexture.
And forgive me, Babel's gonna be in this volume 2. I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
my bad.
yeah.
I'm like Acid and Revengeance.
A portable ops.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what else could you do?
I feel like if you make a volume 1 and 2, to me, for some reason, I imagine a third one is coming out. And just having like the volume 1, volume 2, it seems weird to end it at 2.
You're more of like a trilogy kind of person, right?
I don't know. It just the way it's numbered, it seems like it'd be multiple, and for me, 2 is not multiple.
Mm-hmm. We shall see.
We shall, but it looks great.
Yeah. No, I know that the Master Collection Volume 1 had a bit of a rocky start on PC. Although, like, I feel my personal take, all in all, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But all the little kinks that were
Mm-hmm.
in there
Mm-hmm.
is more or less ironed out completely, and everybody has been saying that like it's like a really good remaster.
Yeah, it's just
So-
sad when things on release aren't good. It kind
Yeah.
of just makes me miss the days of old when on release day a game just worked.
Yeah, I think developers as a whole, like just everybody, has kind of admittedly gotten a little more lax in terms of like, we'll patch it on release.
Which is beautiful that's possible. I don't know. I miss the days where it's like you have developers go, "Oh, I wish I could add this now," or the game is complete, but I wish I could add things to it, as opposed to just like, "We're gonna need to fix this day one."
Yeah.
But that's very first world problem. So, oh well.
Yeah. Well.
But volume 2, I'm excited. I'm excited for all the new, all but like just everyone playing 4 and just being confused. I'm very excited for that. Just being.
I'm excited for every Metal Gear Solid 4 fan listening to finally be able to play the game that they've said that they've been fans of for so long. I'm happy for all of them.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not. I think I'm not as excited as I was for Volume 1, but
Admittedly, my favorites were already in Volume 1, so
and I think we've been talking about Metal Gear Solid 4 for so long that I'm just like,
It's kinda-
I've already played it. Like, why do I need to be excited for a game I've played? We just played it.
We were just here. We were just talking about it.
As always, Konami is just right on our tails. I don't know. Someone's listening. But T, are you ready to talk about the second thing? I just feel like my mind isn't even on the Volume 2 because I've just been thinking about just your sadness.
Admittedly, mine as well.
So Tom has been so beaten up about this. I feel like the past week or two.
Never meet your heroes, guys. Never meet them.
Okay, I have such a different thought about this than you do. So, just to put it out there.
Okay.
So Kojima was tagged in this ad. He was tagged with Nicholas. How you pronounce his last name? Refn.
Refn, I believe.
Nicholas Refn. He was a director for Drive.
Mm-hmm.
He was tagged in the video. It was a Prada collaboration, and Prada's doing this in-person event. It's downtown. I think that they'd be like in a lobby somewhere, and it's gonna be like this future, space oriented, like wondrous kind of design. And they wanted to, collab with the biggest name right now in like tech and gaming, whatever. So they collabed with Kojima, and in their first ad that they released on Twitter, it was this AI video of Kojima and Nicholas Refn and they were traversing space in a spaceship on this Mars-looking planet with this woman. It was just this whole story that looked kind of screamed of like, is it 1960s?
Yeah, it looks like 1960s sci-fi crap. Yeah.
So it was like it had like that really like kind of cheesy, almost like old school type, you know, um, space environment, and that's cute enough. But it was AI. There's points where Kojima does not like Kojima. There's points where there's one section where it's not even his face at all. It's
Yeah.
just some unnamed man, and it's just it's completely AI. And I think it was sad at one point. It's sad on multiple ends. T, what are your thoughts?
Well, um, God, where do I even begin on this? It's just like you think that the person who made a game or a piece of media that warned of the dangers of encroaching AI and technology would be a little bit more self-aware about things that are around him. And I've just been wondering, like, I gotta be honest, like I've been kind of speechless.
Hurt even as well.
Like, hear me out. I know, like I joke around saying that like I'm a big Kojima simp, and like I like the guy as I do any like author or director, but I feel like my entire life I've never really had to deal with a an auteur who I had like a personal fundamental disagreement on. Like, I've been very lucky. Like, a lot of the things that I happen to like, the author or the director, I fuck with,
They
you know?
die, nothing comes out, everything's good, and you're
Yeah.
like, thank God.
And like this is like my first legitimate instance of someone doing something that like is just against everything that I am as a person. I'm like, but you make the thing that I like.
How did you-
How's that possible?
And I think too, what's the worst part is that something that you've been so vocal about.
I have a podcast about this fucking
We've
thing.
had many episodes where we just talk so much shit about AI and explain the dangers of it and the harm it's causing actively now.
And fuck me, I guess.
I mean, what's how do I word this? I'm not surprised by his AI use. And I don't know if it's just years of me. I don't separate the art from the artist. I literally stop. Just if an artist does something, I just stop. It's gone with Kanye, J.K.
Mhm.
Rowling. I just stopped engaging. So it's not as if I, separate the art from the artist. I think for this, it's really a situation where he, and I've said this many times over, he's someone who likes to push the limits of technology.
Yeah.
And I think that this is what he's doing. He sees AI, and I think I'm gonna be honest, I don't think in this Prada ad he's pushing it to his limits. I think this was big time collaboration, big time money. So, but I do think separately, I wouldn't be surprised if he's working with AI. Because
Mhm.
why wouldn't you? It's a new thing out there. Let me see what it's capable of. I think that's just the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
This Prada ad wasn't pushing any new envelopes. It wasn't doing anything. So I just think it was like he grabs actors in Hollywood like it's nobody's business.
100%.
So I think it's in that same vein.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not defending him, but he's not the one that made the ad per se. Like
Well, we don't.
it,
Do we know?
yeah, no, I believe it was God, I forget his fucking name every time.
Nicholas?
Yeah, the Drive director.
Mm.
I believe that it was his rendering and his ad for Prada, and Kojima probably lent his likeness to the ad.
Okay. Let's see. So I just looked real quick, and you are correct. It seems to be a teaser film done by Redfin, but he says it's a collaboration with ideas spoken of between him and Kojima.
Oh, I'm sure Kojima was involved because like
Kojima had to co-sign his.
You got to co-sign your likeness, and it's a well-known fact that Kojima and Nicholas are like really, really close. Like when we saw them at Sundance, they were there together.
True.
Even.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, for something like this, it's not even just being close. You are releasing something to the public with your name tied to it.
Yeah.
So whether you do it or not, you're co-signing it.
Yeah, you're going to be part of the production process to some degree.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of comments where he addresses the criticism, because you go on Reddit, you go anywhere else, it's very split.
Oh yeah. No, I saw on Instagram this afternoon actually, and Kojima, he's currently in New York,
Okay.
and he posted just like random pics of like buildings throughout the city, and all the comments are like, Kojima, why? Why Kojima?
So you have your simps, you have people who are really hurt by this, and I think he will comment and he'll be like, I can imagine, oh, I didn't know the disdain for AI, and I didn't realize people were so, that's
Yeah.
that cop out kind of comment. I'm not surprised by his use of it. And I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if he's actively using it in other ways for his new games.
Man, these boomers and AI usage.
But even when Kojima was younger, he was like this.
I mean, yes.
He was pushing the technology when he made Boktai. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
He was pushing the technology when Psycho Mantis reads your memory card, and then the control. Like he was always pushing the envelope, and I think this is just another medium for him. I'm not saying it's right. I don't agree with it. I'm just not surprised that he's like dipping his toe in there,
because it's just been a habit of his entire life.
As far as like my personal feelings on it, it's funny because I kind of have like a cop out reasoning, and then also I need to really dig deep. So my cop out is like, well, he doesn't own Metal Gear anymore, so I can enjoy Metal Gear.
Ooh. I mean, you're right.
So I can enjoy Metal Gear. It's not like with Harry Potter. I don't touch Harry Potter at all anymore. But this one, I can enjoy. But no, on the real side of it, I do think I have to sit and think about like, what does it mean to me when a creator does something like you said that's so against my own values, and I've stopped listening to Kanye. I've stopped following J.K. Rowling or doing anything with Harry Potter. So, what does that mean for any future?
And a thing that like I gotta remind myself of as well is that Kojima's name is all over these products, and he advertises himself as the head guy of these games, and to many respects he is. But I have to remind myself that Metal Gear was a team effort, and what one person's opinion on a certain topic doesn't diminish what everyone else did as well.
I hear you. I mean, it's also this. It's funny because like stuff like this, questions and issues like this only arise when it's someone you really admire.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking too, it's like it's one part, like everyone's on their journey, right? So maybe he'll come to a point, sadly it's not now, when he's like, oh, AI is bad. I get the concern. Sorry, guys. And it's like, we all knew this. Why did it take you so long? But I always try to remind myself, everyone's on their journey. But right now he's at a place I don't like, and it's not cute. And then second, too, to your point, like, yeah, there's multiple people that work on it. But it's like, how do we, if it's something as bad as AI, putting our money towards people and things that support it is also kind of enabling it.
It is.
So then too, at one point, are we like saying one thing and then being complicit in another? Like, for example, there's that restaurant we don't go to anymore because we love that restaurant. We used to go so often. We found out they were like super terrible, like Trump supporters, and then we stopped going. So it's like we made a choice because we knew our money was going towards that.
Yeah.
So in this way too, we like Kojima. We love. We have a whole podcast dedicated to his games. But if we come to find out that all his future games, he's like employing AI, which you and I are so against, what do we do then?
Oh God.
And I think that's the real dilemma, the real test.
Yeah, that is the real test.
That's why I can be such a cop on and be like, well, Metal Gear's not his anymore, so I'm good.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. That is a cop out. We can do Metal Gear still.
But like, I think, yeah, like as a good person, because you should always analyze everything, how it's made, the person making them. Like, things don't exist in a vacuum. So moving forward, if any his future products, like how do we engage with them, knowing that? Are we gonna choose separate the art from the artist? Are we gonna steer clear? I think it's a personal.
Yeah, I think that like what you said, it's a personal choice for every individual that is out there. But I don't know. At least for me, it God, it's hard for me
I don't
to.
think you have to make a choice right now. This is someone who, I mean, we joke about it, but he did kind of raise you,
Yeah, no, he was.
and not even like a hyperbole. Like he
Yeah,
did.
no, the dude was like a surrogate father for me. I'm not even kidding. But I don't know.
I
I don't
think there's.
know.
I don't think there's a right answer. I don't think there's an answer now. I think it's something just to really sit with yourself and criticize and think about. I don't know. I'm a big put your money where your mouth is kind of person. And also too, with that in mind, you can't also always do that. I understand that there's not everything's black and white. But when you
Yeah,
can and when you choose to, I think this matters the most.
yeah, you have your morals that is true to yourself, and just try to stick by that.
So as of right now, I don't like it. Kojima needs to get his shit together. When he does his apology, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna be happy with it. Let's see what he does after.
Yeah.
I need the apology to be just as loud as the mistake. That's me.
So he should make an AI video about him saying, "I'm sorry, guys. The AI video was bad."
Yeah, I think he's gonna make an apology video, but to be written by AI. And then when people congratulate him, he's gonna be like, "Ha, see," and then
Mm.
it's all over.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
That's gonna be the worst.
This is a whole saga that I'm so happy
We're
that
putting into the
that
universe.
yeah.
I'm expecting him to walk it back and be like, "My bad. I didn't realize the public vitriol for this, despite it being everywhere."
You know, I'm actually of the opinion that he's gonna do nothing. Like I think
Isn't that even worse?
it kind of, but like no, but I I feel that he's going to see this and just hope by doing nothing it'll eventually quiet down and it'll go away.
That's the greatest way for any person to respond.
Yeah, that is great. I don't want that response, but I'm thinking that that is what he'll do. That is my personal take.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, or he'll make his friend take the fall and be like, "Kojima had nothing to do with this, guys."
Yeah, maybe.
But T, before we talk about the downfall of one man, should we talk about the downfall of another man?
Let's
jump into the pop quiz. So T,
Yes, Kay.
today's episode is 101, the first episode, part 1 of Peace Walker. And since we've been talking about Metal Gear Solid 4 for almost a year, some people might have forgotten what happened in Metal Gear Solid 3. Because, that's a very small time game. Not a lot of people play that one.
Yeah, barely anybody ever heard of it. It's like 3 people.
It's a very small, a very indie budget as well. So to begin with our first pop quiz of the series, I wanted to go back. Considering we're going back to Naked Snake, considering this game is about, it's a continuation of his journey in Metal Gear Solid 3, I want to go back to the beginning to the end.
The beginning to the end. Okay.
Your question for today, T, it's a two-parter.
Okay.
How did MGS3 end? And also, in your own words, describe Naked Snake's mindset at the end.
Okay. Let's see. 3 ends with Naked Snake popping his mom in the face with the gun, and he's feeling sad. Then he gets into a fist fight with Ocelot, and he wins.
Okay.
Then him and Eva fly out of there, and they hold hands in a cabin. Yes. Then Snake awakens to find out that Eva has left, but she left a message saying that, hey, I was supposed to kill you, but the boss told me not to, and I think she's really cool, so I'm not gonna kill you. And also, she told me to tell you that she didn't betray the United States, and it was actually a big ruse to get you to kill her to make the Russians happy, and she had to play this part. And he hears this before going to like a ceremony to honor him, and everyone's clapping, and everyone's like, hey, you did it, congratulations, dude. And it's like the end of Evangelion, where everyone's just like, congratulations. And you just see Snake's face, and he's just like, I hate all of you fucking people. You are all terrible. And the president wants to go shake his hand, and he doesn't want to do it. But, you know, it's one of those situations where it's like you kind of have to. So he shakes the hand, he gets his photos taken, and he hates getting the photos. He just hates everything. He's on his way out. The CIA director goes up to him, and he's like, ooh, can I shake your hand? And Snake's like, fuck you, man. And he leaves. And that's more or less the end. Now, his mindset. I would say he feels very lost. He feels very betrayed. Because the entire game, he's like very like, hoorah, America #1, baby, let's go. How could the boss betray America? America good guy. America can't be bad guy. America good guy. And then the end, America bad guy? America can't be bad guy. Am I bad guy? I have to run away. And then he runs.
T, that's correct. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
With Peace Walker, we're jumping in. It's been quite a few years after, but I want us all to hold that and think about this as we jump to the new game because, I mean, it's been, 10 years after? Like, Peace Walker starts 10 years after, but that energy, that kind of mindset is still very strong.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely not over it.
And I think we see it right in the beginning. I mean, it's, PS3 graphics, but his face, you can tell.
PSP.
PSP graphics, sorry. It's very, very heavy on his face. But T, great job with that. I like how you summed it up in probably a minute, and it took us how many episodes to talk about MGS3?
Well, I mean, we went into depth about things. We talked about certain things.
We kind of dragged it a little bit. No, we didn't. We analyzed the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, we did.
Are you ready to analyze the shit out of Peace Walker?
I am.
Let's jump in. So T.
Yes, Kay?
Before we jump into Peace Walker, I think it's best if we set the scene for this game.
I think that's a great idea.
It has been 10 years since the events of Metal Gear Solid 3. And when you start this game, you're kind of just dropped off in the middle of just what's been happening.
Yeah. I feel that like a lot of players, honestly myself included, when we booted up Peace Walker and you just see, I guess he still calls himself Snake, even though that he's technically Big Boss now. But anyway, Snake is just like on a beach and he's just training a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, there's dudes everywhere.
And we're just told that he's in Colombia. And I just think it should be stated why. Why is he in Colombia? What's going on?
Why is he there? Why are there dudes around? We're also very early on introduced to Kazuhira Miller, who, for of course all the fans here, we know him because of Liquid pretending to be him in Metal Gear Solid 1.
And this is actually him this time.
It's actually him. It's let there be no confusion. There's no twist. It's him.
It is him.
But where did he come from? Why are we here?
I don't know. Why are we here? Why South America?
Why 10 years later?
Well, I thought that it would be a good idea to delve into the history of what's been going on in South America in this time frame, because it's very important for the whole idea of Peace Walker.
Agreed. So in Metal Gear Solid 3, we last left off, Snake was kind of involved and thrust into the Cold War, the real tension between the US and the Soviet Union. And 10 years later, that's still going on. We're still in the midst of the Cold War. We are sadly now in kind of I would say secondary wars, but we're in the midst of active Cold War movements by the US and the Soviet Union. So after the events of the game, and also kind of in real life, the Soviet Union and the US began to fund wars and insurgencies in other countries. So the Soviet Union, their main thing was funding what really left-leaning and socialist.
Yeah, really like socialist uprisings throughout the world. Like it wasn't just South America. Like I mean, Vietnam is a great example. uh, but they were also doing it in America's backyard. And
Cuba.
with Cuba, Cuba was like the first domino to fall, and the U.S. was like, we cannot have another one of those. So throughout like the 60s, 70s, whenever there was a socialist movement, the US took drastic measures to put that away. And they went through extreme measures to do so.
Yeah, the U.S. would basically fund any kind of right wing movement that happened around the world. They'd be, as the Soviet Union was funding left leaning socialist movements, the U.S. was funding right leaning and
Questionable people. Like I could like from the US's perspective, I could understand like, oh man, big bad Russia is funding these movements. But I don't know, some of these people, man, was it really worth it? Was it
I mean,
really?
it was all in a name to stomp out communism.
Yeah, fantastic.
And like you alluded to earlier, the US was making some really big moves, some really power plays, and it there's a lot of upheaval within these countries. I mean, for lack of better words, I mean, we cannot begin to describe the destruction that happened within these countries. Some internal wars that still are affecting countries to this day. I mean, I mean, what can be said about Cuba if not?
I mean, it is ongoing as of speaking.
Yeah, so a lot of these countries, so we're gonna really kind of delve into some of what was happening in South America, considering Peace Walker was set in South America, and
Mm.
to give kind of context to why Big Boss was there to begin with, and I think also Kaz was also within South America doing his own little thing. So this whole continent was just in great turmoil due to tensions from countries so far away from them.
Yep. And this is a great area for aimless soldiers who just want to be bodyguards to go because people on both sides just wanted people with guns to help them.
Mm.
And there was plenty of work to be had. So I made a list of some examples, and this is I emphasize some examples of some of the U.S.'s shenanigans in South America.
And bear in mind, we're also kind of simplifying the events. I feel like this could be an episode in itself of each country.
Oh
And
hell yeah,
so we're very much simplifying, but we want to give an idea of how Big Balls and Cos were possibly maneuvering throughout this continent.
yeah. So first example, we have the 1971 Bolivian coup d'état. Now, a socialist by the name of Juan Jose Torres, he came to power. And he was trying to make a left-wing nationalist government.
Uh oh.
Yeah, I know. And he had like an anti-imperialist stance. Very frightening. Torres and his cabinet, they wanted to form a co-government of Popular Assembly, a workers' organization. And that is the same group of people that helped him come to power. So he was really just consolidating stuff. And as he was doing that, a rebellion broke out between right leaning organizations. And their names were the Nationalist Popular Front and the Revolutionary Nationalist Movement and the Bolivian Socialist Phalange, I believe.
So you had these three groups band together to take out the Jose Torres and the National Popular Front.
And a lot of these groups were made up of military personnel, former military, just basically like the military of Bolivia cooed against the president.
So how were they able to do this?
You see, this was done because the U.S. funded this whole thing, and the Nixon administration penned it, and it was under the direction of one guy named Henry Kissinger.
Interesting. So do you know if the Bolivian coup d'etat was the first of kind of like the US's invasion into or like involvement in South American?
I no, I believe it went back to the 60s, but I just chose the 70s because it's the closest to the events of Peace Walker.
And then the Cold War was between, it was like what, 1960s till the fall of the USSR, right? So
Actually, it's kind of closer to the 50s. So like 19, we'll say like 1950 to like
after the war until the fall.
yeah, pretty much after World War II.
So you had a good maybe, yikes, 40, 30 to 40 years of just both countries funding insurgencies.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is one that's around the time of Big Boss being in South America. Okay, cool. Nixon. Oh, we were just talking about him.
It's like we planned it. It's like we planned it. Mr. Deep Throat himself.
Was Nixon? No, I'm trying to. It's a big period. So you had multiple presidents funding insurgencies.
Oh yeah, this goes back at like who was the president in the 50s? I forget. But you got Kennedy, you got Nixon, you got Reagan, you got Carter, you got
I mean, you got to
all
stomp
of them.
out communism.
You got all of them, man.
Is this also part of like what they said in like in school, like the Red Scare? Was that?
Oh, yeah, the Red Scare was like in the 50s.
But that's about
that. Yes,
communism.
Yes, the Cold War.
That's when they would like look out, seek out actors, right, who were super like.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there was a case with Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy. She registered she registered herself as a communist, and they went after her for that. And then she had to make like statements going like, I didn't know
what that meant.
I didn't know what communism meant. I don't know. I heard it was red and my hair is red. So I checked that box.
So they weren't playing around.
No, not at all.
Okay, so 1971. What do we have up next? What's another? Give me another from the large list.
Okay. Well, up next, I brought up the 1973 Chilean coup d'etat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to notice a pattern here. After there was an election of a socialist/communist guy named Salvador Allende, and this was in 1970. After he was elected, Richard Nixon imposed economic pressures like tariffs and shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know. Which caused the 1973 Chilean coup d'etat. And this was backed by the CIA. And this caused like a 17-year-long US-backed military dictatorship.
Pinochet. I've heard of Pinochet.
Pinochet, ask anybody in the South American quarter. This dude is notorious. This dude is like crazy bad. And he was like ruling with an iron fucking fist with the helpful watch of the CIA for like nearly 20 years.
So the people in Chile elect Salvador Allende, and then considering he's a socialist, communist to them, the U.S. puts pressure on them. They impose tariffs, and then that's when there's the revolt.
Yeah,
that's backed by the U.S.
Yes.
Okay, and then so you have a dictatorship.
More or less, yes. Now, this is very similar to the Bolivian one. Basically, like the US's playbook was that if people got like a little uppity in South America, we would approach their military leaders in secret, and we would just drop a giant case of money at their feet and say, "Hey, this is yours if you just want to like take the guy out." And a lot of the times they said yes. In fact, off the rip, we did this very recently in Venezuela. That's how we were able to get Maduro out so quick. It like not to downplay, our boys and shit, but like what happened was that we paid off the Venezuelan military, and we were able to just fly in there with no resistance, snatch them with no resistance, and fly out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the point of like a military takeover. You have manpower. There's money behind it. There's weapons, and I think I think it's not even just money that the U.S. is also providing. We're talking about actual weapons and power that the U.S. is offering them, and it's like if you have, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think it's, you have this large country looming behind you saying, we have your back. you have a blank checkbook.
Hmm. I mean, you could even view it from another perspective of what if they were pressured by the US, by the US saying things like, well, if you don't take our bribe, we'll go in and we will make this messy. So you could do it and make it clean, or we'll go in ourselves and maybe this won't end well for you either.
That's very much what happened with Venezuela.
Yeah.
Very much what happened. At the root of it, though, it's the U.S. who's really controlling everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pinochet was notoriously terrible. I mean, this again, like we are simplifying it. We're not giving it the due justice it deserves. But a lot of people suffered under Pinochet. A lot of murder, a lot of torture, and I think if we're gonna kind of tie it into like military and that manpower, you need a lot of people to buy into it. You need a lot of force, you need a lot of fear to incite people to to fall into place,
Yeah.
so to speak. Very scary if you have a military takeover.
Yeah. Yeah. And sadly, this was like a lot. This was very common back in the day. And not even that far back in the day. Like,
And we have when you talk about like a military takeover, it's just you have when a military takes over, because they say at least in America, the president is the head of the military, right?
yeah. But like, just so our listeners who are mostly American based, imagine this. Imagine if one day the head general, the lead dude in the Pentagon, was like, all right, we've had enough. This guy's got to go. And him and his boys march up to the White House and they ask politely, you leave or this will get ugly.
So I always thought the president was the head of the military,
He is.
but there's a general who's right under him.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
there's like a head general.
No,
yeah.
no, but I guess what I'm just trying to explain and make sure I understand. So of course the president's supposed to be in charge of the army, but there is a head general who's right under him. And to your point, that's who can.
Well, technically, the one under him would be at the moment Pete Hegseth, who's the
Mm.
Secretary of Defense,
And then there's a general.
and then there's like generals under him.
But it would be like to your point, it would be that general who basically says, "Actually, we're going to take over for the president."
Yeah,
Got you.
and that would, if there would be a coup in the U.S., it would be something like that.
Understood. Okay. I think that actually helps me understand it a little bit more because again, like yeah, it's the military itself. You have the head of the army taking over. This is very kind of. I can see where Big Boss would be enticed by this.
Hmm.
I could see him fitting into, especially after being disillusioned by the government.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
a perfect place for him to end up.
a world governed by soldiers. Perfect.
Perfect. What else? What else is going on in South America around this time?
Well, I thought that this would be a very fitting moment to talk about Colombia because that's where we open in Peace Walker. So, what's going on in Colombia, even at the moment of the game itself, like this goes back to the 60s and it's actually like happening today. It's ongoing.
So what you mean to like 2026?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like like the way it is in Colombia right now, think of it like the Troubles in Ireland. It's like this ongoing thing, but it's like it gets hot, it gets cold. It's just like this.
But there's always tension.
There's always like a tension thing
Okay.
going on. So in Colombia at the moment in the 70s, there was like land disputes. Like this is complicated. I tried researching, and this goes back mad long. This goes back to Spanish colonization.
Okay, so who's the land disputes between?
Basically, like the rich and powerful elite types in Colombia, which dates back to like the Spanish colonial.
We're talking like royalty?
I guess descendants or like people who were of power in
The bourgeois.
yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And they controlled the land, and the peasants just worked on it, and they had no say. They didn't have any rights, and they did not like that at all. And eventually, it got to a point where there was like these paramilitary groups and left-leaning guerrilla groups, and they began like this conflict that started around in the 60s, like around 64.
Oh, so the guerrilla groups, I would imagine, are the peasants and whatnot, and then the paramilitary groups are the upper class.
Yes.
Got you.
And Colombia's like land ownership class, they were like very much
It's like
they
disproportionate.
yeah, it was like disproportionate power because they had all the money. But that didn't stop all of this funding going into like these left-wing guerrilla groups. There was one that was called FARC, like
Okay.
FARC, but it's called the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, and this was like a Marxist guerrilla group. And they fought for working class rights and land ownership, and that's kind of where we open.
So, if they're Marxists, they would be left leaning, no?
Yeah,
So the U.S. would be funding
they would be funding the
the
Colombian government.
the paramilitary or the Colombian government.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have these guerrilla groups in Colombia. Okay, okay, and that's where we're dropped off into in Peace Walker
Yes.
in this ongoing conflict. So you said it's going beyond just 1964, before the Cold War. The Cold War is just a perfect way for the U.S. to get involved.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, so this is just something they were. Ooh, they were able to get their hands dirty with this.
Yeah, yeah. They were. This was just an ongoing tension, and then the Cold War just threw gasoline on it.
Interesting. Okay.
And in this hellhole, this is where Kaz and Snake first meet. Now, in 1972, Kaz was in Colombia, and he got himself a position as a drill sergeant for the FARC.
Okay, so the Marxists.
Yes. Kaz was fighting against the Colombian military. Snake was fighting for the Colombian military.
Interesting, because this is even after Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
And if you, so he's after 3, he was disillusioned by the U.S. government, and now he's in South America, basically fighting on a side that's behalf of the U.S. government.
Yeah, it's a little interesting, don't you think? You think that he would be fighting against the US government, but maybe he's in a point where he just is looking for money.
That's what I'm
Like
thinking. He's just angry. He's just fighting.
Yeah, he's just making his way. He's just some rampaging barbarian.
Yeah, maybe we'll learn more and we can talk about it. But that's interesting. Okay, so he was on the right-leaning side
Yes.
with the Colombian government.
Now, Snake encountered Kaz's unit, and of course, Snake, being who he is, decimates the entire thing.
Wipe them out.
And Kaz was very badly wounded. And he tried to kill Snake with a hand grenade that he had hidden. But Snake, being the coolest guy ever,
Yeah.
he clasps his hands together on the hand grenade, and it creates this almost like pseudo romantic image
Are
of
you-
like
Are you saying that because it's Pride Month?
no, well, maybe, but like hear me out. Now the listeners can't hear us, can't see us right now, but imagine that your hand right now is holding a hand grenade,
And I pulled the pin.
and you pulled the pin. Now Snake, in order to stop it, he grasped those hands together
Over Kaz's hands.
over Kaz's hands, and he's like, "No, I like you.
And you have to be close to do that.
You got to be close."
And Snake actually did say he liked Kaz.
He did.
Because he liked Kaz's gusto. He liked Kaz's performance.
Yeah, Kaz basically was like, I'll never lose. Japan will never lose.
Which is a whole other thing we'll
yeah,
get into.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But he was very much into like I have to honor Japan kind of deal.
Yeah, Snake was like, I didn't know there were still samurai. It was just, a lot that we have to go into, but
they were flirting. They were flirting.
Yeah, and we're getting this. There's not a codec, but there's a cassette tape. Oh my god! Next episode, we're gonna talk more about how the game works and like what it looks like. But we just wanted to set the scene.
Yes.
But yeah, we learned this from a cassette tape, which you can listen to in the game. But yeah, the Snake literally says like, I didn't know there were still samurai. I love what you're doing, the way you carry yourself. And Kaz was basically enthralled and came into Big Boss's cult. I mean, his band of mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
known as. Okay, you want to say that in French for me?
I think okay, I'll try. Militaires sans frontières, and it's French for soldiers without borders. It's kind of like a riff on Doctors Without Borders.
Amazing, because they're doing the exact
I
opposite.
know it's amazing. You see, Big Boss.
I think he's so smart.
Big Boss was up late one night. And he was like, ah, "They'll never see this one coming."
We don't help people.
We kill people.
So it's interesting, right? Because this also makes me think of Kaz's mindset. Kaz too was just fighting for money. Because if he's so quick to join Snake, you're joining the other side, essentially.
Well, Snake wasn't necessarily on the other side
But he was
himself.
fighting for the other side.
I know,
I'm getting
but
MGS4 vibes.
yeah, they are. Well, like here's the thing: both Snake and Kaz, I don't think they care. I think they were literally just in it for the money and in it for just the love of the game.
Yes, they don't care because Snake respected the way Kaz carried himself, and Kaz was very upset by his crew being wiped out, as
Yeah.
one would be. But when it comes to like you said, like when it comes to joining together, why would you join together unless it was because you respected the hell out of the other person, the love of the game?
Yeah.
Similar to Ocelot.
Yes, very similar to Ocelot, but like I think that Kaz joins up with Big Boss because it's not that what he's fighting for, it's who he is as a person.
Yes. No, I agree.
So like whoever he was fighting for, like the Colombian government for example, they both are of an understanding that that's just nothing. Like clients come and go. What we have right here together, that's what's important, and that's just fighting. They just want to
It's
fight,
just
baby.
being a soldier, and with Soldiers Without Borders, it is a mercenary group. It's paid soldiers.
Mhm.
So you have Kaz, whether it was because maybe he saw more money with Big Boss, or he felt the drive and the passion within Big Boss. He leaves his crew and goes. Well, I mean, there was no one
Well, his
left
crew
of
was
his crew,
kind of dead,
but
but
he jumped right to Big Boss, and it wasn't a situation where it was kind of like he felt forced or he had no choice. He wanted to join with Big Boss.
yeah, as with many victims of cults tend to do. I'm sorry. I feel like this for Peace Walker in 5, you're going to hear a lot of personal biases come out, and I will do my best to not let them come out often. But I have my personal takes. I will say that.
But this is where we find Snake in South America, in Colombia, a new crew of people fighting essentially on his own, for reasons, whether it's money or what is it called? The love of the game.
Yeah.
He's found himself in a continuation of what he was doing in 3, basically involving himself with the Cold War. And I don't think, again, it's because he cares about anything or because it's some love for the earth like his mom had. It's very much, I think he's finding his way, and he's doing it in the only way he knows how to, which is on the battlefield.
I think this is his way of just like working and not having to think, because like there are some people out there who whenever they're faced with like a personal trauma, instead of like working through it, they just like commit everything they have to work so they don't have to think about it.
That I do that. It's what you know, it's what you're good at. Like, why let me just throw myself into work because that's safe. I know I can do this.
Yeah, and that's what Snake is doing. And granted, his work is very crazy, but that's what he's doing.
And this is where, this sets the scene for how the game will go. And I think it's important to understand that this is just not Colombia. It's countries all throughout the continent. And also, we're still in the midst of the Cold War. So there's just other people in play, other governments in play.
Yeah, and in the opening hours of Peace Walker, you'll see other countries get mentioned in this game. Like, it's very important to know the political context of what's happening right now to fully understand why Colombia plays a role, why Costa Rica will play a role. Why Nicaragua will soon play a role. These are all connected.
Yeah. It's funny that he chooses to to run and get away from America and all of it, but there's no running.
No,
First
you
of all,
can't.
from the hand, of America, the way it involves itself and muddies the water of a lot of different things.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest country on the planet.
And it's for Soldiers Without Borders. I mean, you're good when you take jobs and
A lot of your clients will probably be American.
you're going to be fighting proxy wars, essentially.
Yeah.
Fighting wars on behalf of, well, we'll get into that. But on a separate note, this being Metal Gear University, I think it's very important to definitely do your own research and look at just how the Cold War affected so many countries in the world, and especially countries in South America, because I was shocked by like I was reading about like Trujillo and DR, and even that was part of the Cold War. And I was like, in the Caribbean, Trujillo, I know him because Puerto Rican, and I know a lot about Caribbean history. But there's no words for how disgusting that man was, and he's just the tip of the iceberg compared like Pinochet and all this other stuff. Even like Mexico back in the day, they had their own president overthrown. There's so much turmoil that
we were very busy.
Yes.
We were very, very busy.
And it's shocking to me because I feel like I'm aware of like the war crimes that America has done, at least some of it. But the USSR was also doing the same things elsewhere.
Oh yeah. Let's not say that like there's a very clear good guy and bad guy here. The USSR had its fair share.
But I'm thinking there's so many other countries that I'm not even privy to that they had their hand in.
Oh yeah. The USSR were busy in their own right.
So like I just think it's just so shocking how you have these big imposing powers that affect so many lives, and then I think about this big imposing power of Big Boss and how many lives he affects by what he does. It's like the macro and the micro.
Yeah.
America and the USSR and these big countries mess with these small countries. This big imposing figure, Big Boss, and all the lives that he touches that we'll come to know intimately.
We will. We very much will.
Maybe some characters in this game.
Maybe.
Well,
as Big Boss wrestles with some men on the beach, he has a little scar on his chest, much like how the boss had at the end of the game. I don't know. Well, a little weird, but okay.
We don't know how he got that scar.
Yeah, we don't know.
It looks very similar, to the boss.
It's very similar. And he's wrestling and tussling with his men on the beach.
Who are they trying to impress him?
Yeah, they're trying to impress him.
Hey, boss, wanna go around?
And Kaz pulls up with 2 new clients. And who are these clients? Well, that's for next week.
Mm-hmm. Next week, I think we should also talk maybe a little bit about like the game itself, like what year it came out and the backstory, and because this game was also on the PSP.
Yeah, this was a portable game, and this is the first Metal Gear title, at least a major Metal Gear title that's not numbered. And back in the development phase, this game was originally supposed to be, oh god, did this come out first or did 4 come out first? No, yeah, this was supposed to be Metal Gear Solid 5. And I think that they were like a little iffy about it with it being on portable, so they just kind of kept it Peace Walker.
No, and it's very different than any Metal Gear game before it.
Oh, very
different. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but
that's fine. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves anyway.
Yeah, we need to. We'll talk more for next time. But you have 2 weeks. Do your research. Understand how the world is still in such turmoil 10 years after Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, that and her dying didn't do anything. She died, essentially. It prevented an actual nuclear fallout and actual fighting between the big bads. But you now have the big bads involving themselves in all these
little proxy wars happening all over the world.
And it's like all these small little proxy wars. Mind you, millions of people live within these countries and are affected. And it's just like, we're going to just put our hand in it to make sure we stomp out communism and socialism and
Yeah, no, it's just two big countries playing a game of chess, but each piece on this board represents millions of people.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Great. But everyone, thank you for joining us. Do your research. No chat GBT. I don't care. Don't use it. Use your brain. Do your research. Pick up a book. Even at this point, it's funny. I remember when I was going to college, they were like, don't use Wikipedia. At this point, I'll take you all reading Wikipedia. Read. Let's delve in. Let's understand what's happening in the world. And let's talk about Peace Walker in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I like Peace Walker, not because of cause, but kind of because of cause.
Okay.
But this is a very important arc for Big Boss, and I think I'm gonna be honest. I think maybe my favorite arc in the series,
Ooh.
besides Old Snake. Like I feel like Metal Gear Solid 4 and Old Snake is probably my favorite arc because it's just a man who's kind of reckoning with the fact that he's gonna die. And Metal Gear Solid 4 just looms large in my head. It almost feels like multiple games. I think maybe because it's like divided into 4 parts. But like this arc of Peace Walker and future games, I just feel like it's so important for just how this one man just fucks up so many people.
Yeah. And it all stems from this. Like 3 is the point where Big Boss makes the decision to leave. But this is the game where he decides what he's gonna do about it.
Oh, what's he gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna do something. Anyway, okay, sorry, ranting. I love Peace Walker. It's amazing. But we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Take care of yourselves. Also, happy Pride Month if you like Metal Gear. Never mind. Gay.
Yeah, statistically speaking, you're probably gay.
Happy Pride Month and happy Pride Month to my favorite what is it? Not fan fiction couple, but my favorite couple in media, Otacon and Snake. That's Candace and me. I don't care.
No.
I care.
Be who
You are for your pride. Okay, see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.